This is verse 1 of the 7th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew, the third chapter that's involved in the Sermon on the Mount. We come in this chapter to Jesus' discussion of a judgmental attitude, which is plainly what he has in mind. As we come to this fairly short verse here, so we have may, the negation, used with non-indicative moods. That's how we know that this is the imperative and not the indicative. Sometimes it's not so clear because obviously this could go either way. Kreneta from kreno, very broad word. It can mean simply to evaluate something as to whether you like the taste of one thing better than another, to evaluate in that sense. It can mean to judge, as in what a judge may do in a courtroom, evaluating the guilt or innocence of a certain person. It can even mean to condemn. It can go that far, although there are other words that are more commonly used. Katakrima, for example. To actually condemn would be the notion. This is the broadest of these words and is probably the reason that it's chosen here. Do not judge is the way it's usually rendered. It's, you'll notice, a present imperative, and that would suggest the idea of an ongoing action. Obviously, on the one hand, we are called at certain situations to judge. Parents are supposed to judge the behavior of their children and impose the appropriate sanctions with regard to that behavior. And certainly it's not ruling out every act of judging, but it is ruling out a kind of ongoing judging attitude where we just live every day in a constant activity of evaluating the behavior of those around us. That, of course, would be the kind of thing that is in view here. So don't have an ongoing judgmental attitude toward those around you. With the warning, additionally, here, hina takes the subjunctive, which we have here, the subjunctive of the same verb, but now it's in the second person aorist passive. And so it don't go on judging in the present in order that you may not, same negation here, be judged. This is a punctiliar idea, aorist passive subjunctive, in order that you might not be judged. There's a consistent warning in the Scripture, of course, against this kind of attitude. Paul actually uses it as an argument against people who don't have special revelation, that their own words are going to be the basis upon which they'll be condemned or vindicated. That's in Romans chapter 2, where he says, "You are without excuse, O man, whoever you are that judges, because when you judge, you prove you know the law, and thus you can be evaluated based on your own words." So the principle has rather far-reaching implications, but of course here it's simply an injunction against having this kind of judgmental attitude, always looking at life in terms of an evaluation of those around me based on my sentiments toward them and my conclusions about the nature of their behavior.